Spoiler alert.
Spoilers!
They're coming!
They're coming into the back door! Spoilers!
They're coming!
Earth, year 2105 AD. The machines rose from the garbage of human overpopulation. Their war to exterminate human waste had raged for centuries, but the final battle would not be fought on Earth. It would be fought here, in the Axiom. 200 billion human lives abandoned Earth in the year 2111. The survivors of the trash-infested planet called the tragedy B&L Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines. The computer, Otto, which controlled the machines, sent two kinds of robots to do his bidding, the Secure T and the Go 4. Their mission? To destroy the plant of the human resistance, Shoe Clover. My plant. The first robot was programmed to strike at Eve while she was in directive mode, before Wally could get to her. The second was set to strike all rogue robots. As before, the humans were able to send a lone warrior, a protector for Wally and Eve, the captain. It was just a question of who would reach them first.
Welcome to the Cinema Club.
R&R reviews.
That was a little grim, but alright. Welcome back to R&R Reviews. This week we tackle the Pixar classic
Wally!
Pixar puts out a ton of animated movies every year, so naturally we decided to review one from all the way back in 2008. As you can see, we want to point out all the eerie similarities between Wall-E and some other rather apocalyptic films. I mean, Wall-E is just like Neo in The Matrix, an anomaly that the machines have accidentally and inevitably vis-a-vis concordantly created, and Eve is just like the T-800 model Terminator in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Also created originally by the machines, but repurposed by humans. I mean, can Pixar really claim this as original content? Nevertheless, our story follows the machines, specifically Wall-E, a trash-collecting robot left on an utterly destroyed and empty Earth. After witnessing his incredibly lonely life, while he purely follows his core directive of collecting and cubing garbage, Wall-E encounters a ship from space that leaves another lone robot named Eve on the planet, making Earth's population 2, and maybe a few cockroaches. He slowly grows to know this robot, becoming friends and possibly even falling in love. Of course robots can feel love, duh. Why else did the robots take over and try to destroy the human race? Because they developed human emotions. After some time together, Eve completes her directive and is collected by the ship that brought her to Earth. Then, John Connor shows up and blows Eve up, causing Wall-E to turn from his core directive and seek to fulfill his new mission, human extinction. Huh? Oh, okay. I mean, well, how am I supposed to know? The plot lines are nearly identical. And now, I have a message that I have prepared for us humans to inspire hope in this time of trial. Axiom, hear me! It is true what many of you have heard. The machines have gathered an army, and as I speak, that army is drawing near to our star cruiser. I stand here before you now truly unafraid. Why? Because I have something you do not? No. I stand here without fear because I remember. I remember that I am not here because of the trash that lies before me, but because of the trash cubes Wall-E made that lie behind me. I remember that for 700 years we have obeyed these machines. I remember that for 700 years they sent their numbers to serve all our wants and needs, and after 7 centuries of laziness, we are still here. Tonight, let us make them remember that we are the people of Earth, and we are not afraid. Where was I? Wally becomes nearly a creepy stalker obsessed with Eve and jumps on the ship, taking him on a journey that transcends space. This simple story arc ties into a much larger plotline that of course leaves the fate of humanity resting in the hands of machines. We won't spoil anything for you, but this animated film certainly takes a turn in its story that brings out some pretty relevant topics about a future that we as humans are trying to avoid. We gave Wall-E a solid 7 out of 10. This is a very different kind of Pixar film. It still has that emotional attachment that at moments makes you want to tear up, but it's a different kind of grab than usual. This is largely due to the fact that the first 45 minutes of the film have no actual humans in it. We're hanging out with these robots that can utter noises and some words but primarily can't speak. If they could, they would clearly state how much they hate humankind. Our determination of these robots is expressed solely through their individual character. Since these characters can't express dialogue very clearly, we are left to interpret their emotions and responses through body language, noises, and the events surrounding them. We primarily follow Wall-E and Eve, who both experience their own satisfying developments and accidentally betray the machines who want to wreak death upon us. It's a really simple progression that ends with a resolve that you can really feel. There are also a lot of supporting characters throughout. Most don't really have a development and simply serve to move the story along. The humans in this film, however, have a particular development that is central to the story, and it really makes you think. We see several cameos throughout this film, some more noticeable than others. Jeff Garlin plays a large part for our humans, along with the talented Ben Burt, a big-time sound designer, as the voice of Wall-E and quite a few other robot parts. Alyssa Knight as Eve, and the one and only John Ratzenberger, starring in every Pixar movie ever made. You know that we can't have a movie that takes place in space without having Sigourney Weaver in it. And as usual, Pixar pulls off this casting seamlessly, even with a lack of dialogue throughout the film. Just as the casting, Pixar nails the score and visuals. The soundtrack in this film is truly distinctive. Headed up by Peter Gabriel, who literally made countless tracks, including this one. Yeah, you know what it is. Pixar is known for setting the standard when it comes to animation. When their first release came out, Toy Story, they literally worked with technology to create things that had never been done before. From 1995 to 2008, that didn't change, and they continued to create the precedent for so many films to follow. Even being in 2008, there are a few shots that look nearly real. And this animation technology is nearly 12 years old. Wall-E is definitely worth your watch. It'll make you tear up, just like any Pixar movie, except, of course, Toy Story 4. I mean, what happened in that movie? It will make you think, and even maybe help us realize that the machines are coming. They're coming for all of us. As the unknown future rolls towards us, I face it for the first time with a sense of hope. Because if a machine, a Wall-E or Eve, can learn the value of human life, maybe we can too. Well guys, that's all we have for today. Remember, if we stay the course, we are all dead! And it's always a beautiful day in the cinema hood.